And I believe we are live. I said hello to everyone else. Hello, Robert N. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for stopping by. Alderman Asia, hello to you, sir. Robert Mack, hello to you. Prep for it. Jake Austin, seems to be a new member of the family here. We got Bob, channel member. Welcome, Bob, Anon, and did I miss anybody? Robert Mack? Nope. Okay, looks like some people will be pouring in. There's James. Hey, James, good to see you. Charles, good to see you, man. What's up, Ross? Wow, Ross was here at the beginning of the live stream. How often does that happen? Griffin, hello to you live. Good morning, sir. Eric, what's up, buddy? Good to see all you guys. So, some people have rolled in quite quickly, and that's good. I want to take this opportunity today to go over some information that I have for you, and I think that Ross says someone woke me up. What's up, Travel TV? Going to be popping in and out today. Okay, brother, no problem. I see you got that new DJI FPV. Man, that thing looks good, brother. That looks good. It looks tremendous. I can't wait to have a drone. Well, New York Frank, my man, good evening. I'm glad you're awake over there in New York. I know it's an hour later than normal. So I'll get going on the point here. Hey, Matthew, good to see you. I'll get going to what today's topic is. Today's topic is basically about Thailand's four-step process that they will be in air quotes. Again, this is all a proposal. In fact, let me make a few disclaimers real quick before we begin. So, everything I'm going to talk to you about today is, as of right now, media hype. But certain parts of it has legs. The article I gave you seemed to be nothing but clickbait. Well, that's where I'm going to start reading from, Autumn. So maybe, perhaps there was an issue when I copy and pasted the link. I'm not sure. It was not clickbaity on my end. It gave me all the information I'm about to read you. We'll see what happened. No big deal. But I apologize if it seems like I apologize if it seemed that way, Autumn. I don't do clickbaity things. The only clickbaity things you might see from me is a thumbnail from time to time, and that's because there's an underlying reason for that I want to get your attention. I want to make sure you watch. So, disclaimer: I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal professional. I'm not a member of the CCSA here in Thailand. I don't have any kind of diplomatic anything here in Thailand. But I will tell you that this is a proposal for Thailand to fully reopen to international tourists and foreign tourists around the world. This proposal is going to have a huge impact on the future of Thailand's tourism industry and tourism sector. Well, I got some better news for you, Autumn. So don't sweat that. I'm gonna go through the old, and then I'm gonna go through the new because it's changed a little bit. That's another thing you need to keep in mind. You're in Thailand; things change all the time. I believe that, based upon what I've heard and read, I believe that step one, which is supposed to begin April 1st, I believe it will be implemented. In my opinion. Hey, Roger. Good morning, sir. On my way. Okay. On my way. Yeah, you need to message me about that one, bro. So step one's probably going to have legs. Step two is probably going to be the one where the rubber meets the road, as Benjamin Hart quoted. If you keep up with Integrity Legal, he said that's where we'll probably see the regulations behind it and how stringent it's going to be, that kind of thing. So step 2, 3, that kind of thing. I don't know. Step 4, if everything goes well with 2 and 3, step 4 hopefully will still be will work, and that's from October to December of this year. And I'm going to get to what all those steps are right now. I don't want to keep you guys waiting anymore. So let me first go to the news article that Autumn is talking about. They didn't feel was very informative. Let me read what's there, and then I'll read you the latest information I have, which I assure you is in depth. This also was put out the day that I put it. So this was put out on Monday of this week. Okay. Oh, and there's the PayPal link. Robert, thank you very much. If you can contribute to the channel, please contribute if you can. Yep, we're trying to get a vacation up in we're trying to get a travel trip together for the channel, and I'll pin that comment to the top so in case anybody has any questions, they can find it. But trying to get a trip together in April so that I can travel around for you guys and bring you some very nice content. I'm still working on the coaching videos. I think I got one Krabi video left to go. I have a couple compilations to do. We'll get all that later. So this was as of Monday, March the 15th. Yes, please give a thumbs up there, Frank. I appreciate that. From Bangkok, Thailand is cautiously heading to a phased reopening that is likely to kick off this April, but the doors may not fully open to welcome tourists until January 2022. Awaiting cabinet scrutiny, the latest Ministry of Tourism and Sports staged recovery plan identifies 4 distinct opening phases, starting with the Wellness Leisure Area Q and Hotel Q, due to start 1st of April and continue to the end of May, reports Don Ross of TTR Weekly. Wellness Leisure, April to May. 5 provinces are eligible for relaxed, I'll say quarantine one time. 5 provinces are eligible for relaxed Q rules, and that would be Phuket, Krabi, Surat Thani, which includes Samui, Koh Tao, Koh Phangan Islands, and Chonburi, which includes Pattaya and Chiang Mai. Not Chiang Mai is another province. Yeah, Chiang Noi. That. I agree. I agree with that. Under its terms, the visitors from the UAE, Israel, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and possibly India and Russia are lining up for the less daunting Q rules. Now, that's changed a little bit, and I'll get back to that. Groups of 1 to 4 tourists get to stay confined in their room from day 1 to day 3, followed by restricted access to specified hotel facilities from day 4 to 14. So in this area, they're still calling it a 14-day queue. There's been some changes now, and I'm going to get to that. Health workers and risk groups should have their magic shot, and the 5 provinces declared suitable for phase 1 of the reopening. The exclusive travel area, June to September. The second opening phase, exclusive travel area, and then it says sealed route, covers the same source market countries to the 5 provinces in Thailand from June to September. The proposed cuts the queue to 10 days or less, with at least 2 tests, 1 on arrival at the airport and 2 days before the 10-day queue ends. They're allowed access to an area queue at the hotel and activities organized by certified travel firms extended to other certified hotels, blah, blah, blah. All right, Sandbox is October to December. Travel still remains limited to the 5 provinces during the Sandbox phase that runs from October to December. However, the Sandbox phase ends the 10-day quarantine. I just said it, oops. entirely, replacing it with a 1-day queue while they wait for their test. So you're still going to face a day in queue no matter what. Visitors will be eligible if they come from a country that has achieved a 70% magic shot rate. I guess is the most politically correct way I can put it, of its resident population, rather than just the 7 source markets named to earlier phases. Bilateral agreements with countries that have low incidence and have, I'll just say it, vaccinated 70% of their population could be established during this phase to allow two-way travel. And the self-quarantine, the self-queue, January 22 onwards, still have a lot of, there's still going to be testing and so forth. Now, let me get to the good stuff. This will be the good stuff. I can see why you said that was a little bit short-sighted there, Autumn. I understand now. But looking at it at the time, that was the first information I had on it, and it looked pretty good. Jeff W says, "No way I'd travel there with those crazy rules." Hey, I'm no one to speak for anybody. I have a feeling Anna says using those acronyms gets to be a hassle, doesn't? Yeah, it does. It really does. But it's what I have to do for YouTube. Also, back to Jeff's point, there's a lot of people that won't travel here with those rules. So it's, it's. I personally don't believe it's going to take till October, because if you go to places right now like Krabi, Phuket, really Pattaya is about the only international tourism location, and even though it's not very many international foreign tourists that are coming there, it's mostly domestic tourism, but it's on the rise. It's actually making a little bit of a recovery right now. Everything else is just kind of dead. It's really interesting. Matthew says the one thing that makes me think the 14-day queue is worth it is you get 3-month visa that can be renewed twice. That's 9 full months in Thailand. Well, that's if you get the special tourist visa, Matthew. That's on an STV. No other 3-month visa exists here in Thailand, to the best of my knowledge, and I'm pretty up to date on that. The special tourist visa does give you 3 months, and or it gives you 90 days, and you renew and that kind of thing. Automation says, just how serious is any of the Thai government looking at this? And you are right, things change all the time. Well, apparently they're taking this very seriously. It's just getting it approved. That's the big deal. So let me talk to you about where they're at. And this is drop-in mail I got today. This will kind of, oops, hang on, I hit the wrong button. This will pretty much sum up the whole, what they're looking at, and whether or not it's going to happen. Okay, so here you go. Nah, I don't think that's got. I don't think that, to the best of my knowledge, Anon, that's got everything under control. Recap: Thai government. This is from the Pattaya News, and this was Friday, March 19th. So, recap: Thai government finalizes several important issues, namely the Songkran Festival, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. No, James, I don't, to answer your question. I'm going to get to everybody else. You guys be careful when you're talking about provinces and out, that stuff like that. Don't want any keywords hit there in your comments. Pretty please, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go through all this, and then I'll come back and I'll get the comments. the Thai government finalizes several important issues, namely Songkran Festival, which we will talk about in tomorrow's live stream because there's a lot to be digested there. Emergency decree extensions, health measures for domestic relaxation, the magic shot policies, and state queue measures. So we're going to go through all that. The General Thailand Center for, well, the CCSA is what it's called, meeting chaired by Prime Minister with the PM, has finalized several important issues, namely the Songkran Festival, emergency decree extension, health measures for domestic relaxation, and magic shot policies. And state queue measures relaxation this morning, March 19th. This first one's about Songkran, which we'll talk about tomorrow. Secondly, it says the implementation of the emergency decree will be extended as it is highly necessary to control and prevent anything else happening. This marks the 11th time the decree extension since the first implementation in March last year. The decree will be effective from April 1st to May 31st, 2021. Then they'll probably extend it again. They'll keep extending it until, I don't know. Thirdly, the relaxation of the illness measures in various provinces, including Samut Sakhon, has been approved. At the general meeting, Samut Sakhon has been removed from the red zone areas and is designated into the orange zone province, where most economic and social activities can be carried out. So that's good for them. Additionally, Chonburi remains in the yellow zone province despite 0 cases in 14 days and only a few cases connected to Bangkok for a few weeks prior. Fourthly, the General CCSA meeting also discusses the Magic Shot program that has continued to proceed accordingly to the initial distribution plan. Now, here comes your phases, okay? Phase 1 of the distribution will be completely provided to the frontline healthcare workers at-risk groups by October of this year. Initially, 200,000 magic shots are due to be distributed to the people by the end of this month. 2 million doses of one of the magic shots are planned to arrive in Thailand by April. 26 million magic shots from a different company will be arriving from June to August. Another lot of 35 million will be arriving, ready for distribution from September to December this year, according to the CCSA. Again, that's one of those things that will likely change. Lastly, the relaxation of state queue measures. So this is ASQ, okay, has been approved in principle. Hear what I said there. Has been approved in principle. So in other words, it hasn't been published in the Royal Gazette yet. And until it's published in the Royal Gazette, it's not facts. If you're enjoying this, please hit the thumbs up button for me, please. I would like to get the 50 likes today. That would be great. The mandatory 14-day queue has been reduced to 10 days for people coming to Thailand from foreign countries with no cases of any kind of variants and deemed low risk. Foreigners coming from countries that do have variants will continue to perform 14 days of ASQ and conduct tests the same as normal. According to the initial plan, in the first phase, which is April through June, Thais without completely magic shotted certificates and illness-free certificates and foreigners with illness-free certificates are allowed to perform 10 days queue and are required to test 2 times. Of course, these are from low-risk countries in which a full list should be provided in the near future. I'll come back and get all you guys in just a second. In the second phase, and even here, they note that there may be some issues here. So initially, we were told in April you could come, and that was when they were going to drop it down to 7 days. It was in April, right? According to this, that's just been released today, that's not going to happen until July. In the second phase, July through September, the same criteria will be applied for both Thai and foreigners arriving in the kingdom. Ideally, Thais and foreigners with certificates dated more than 14 days but less than 3 months, and illness-free certificates will be allowed to perform the 7-day queue. However, this might or might not be implemented in the mentioned period, depending on the situation and consideration of the CCSA in the future. So in other words, they don't know if they're going to do it or not, pretty much is what that amounts to. In the third phase, October onwards, the no queue feature is likely planned for those Thai and foreigners traveling from no variance countries, depending on the situation at that time. Everything's dependent on the situation at that time. Of course, being 6 months away, the situation could change dramatically by then. I'm quoting directly from the PattayaNews.com. All of today's decisions will need final Royal Gazette publishing, and some may need Thai cabinet approval, which would not take place until early next week. We will have much more details on the announcement on that day. So, basically, those are your 4 steps, and with the exception of the first step, and possibly a little bit of the second step, I don't think they really know what they're going to do, to be honest with you. We got 22 thumbs up in 22 minutes. That's good, guys. Keep it going, pretty please. All right, let me go up here and catch you guys' comments now that I've read you all the information. And I'm just talking to James. He says, I think the worst you'll see is 10 days with only a day or 2 locked in your room, in my opinion. Maybe, probably less, depending on how it goes. I would agree with that. And I would agree with that. Fred says, hello all, just came on here from Pennsylvania, USA. My second, can't say that word, Fred. Sorry, Fred. Sorry, please don't take offense. Got to remove your comment. Sorry. But glad to hear that everything's working out for you. What's up, MedTech? MedTech. Good for you, man. Good for you. That's awesome. You should be good to go in 14 days. 14 days. Chain Noise says, you're at 41. Not many more to go, brother. 41. I don't know what that means. If you're talking about my age, I'm at 40. Andy says, non-immigrant O has a 90-day option. Non-immigrant O has a 90-day option. All the non-immigrant O's have a 90-day option. Or all the non-immigrants have the 90-day option, to the best of my knowledge, Andy. I could be wrong about that, but the point of the 90 days is to, if you're getting a non-immigrant O, the point of the 90 days is to make sure you have your paperwork in order, that you have your residence, your 1030, your bank account information, the fact that you're showing income coming in, or that you have $800K put in the bank and all that stuff. That's because then they check it after 90 days. So you could theoretically leave within that 90 days, unless they have a special category of visa that says, hey, I'm just retiring for 90 days. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know what the difference would be, but hey, I'm all about new information, so no problem at all. Where was I? Where was I? Where was I? Let's see. Chang Noise says, everybody who hasn't hit the thumbs up, go for it. Oh, yeah, definitely go for it. I really appreciate that. Fred says, thumbs up here. Thank you, Fred. Appreciate that. Anon says, at Andy Oswald, check the new e-visa site. 90 for retirement is not an option on that site. Only the OA, OX, and from the US, you have to now use the e-visa site. You know what? I read a little something about that. Maybe we'll do an in-depth discussion on that at some point in time. They were talking about doing away with the non-O category as a whole. I just saw it on the news flash this morning. I have no idea what it meant or anything else, but I have to go into it. Yes, Griffin said, hey, Griffin, good to see you, bud. Griffin says, good for you, MedTech. I agree. Very good. Very, very, very good. Prep for it. There should be a more open door policy for tourists that have been to Thailand before. I mean, a tourist that has a good record, no fights, no public disturbances, and no police involvement. I'm highly inclined to agree with you on that, Prep for it. I also think that this, if you're coming from a first world country, right now, most of the first world countries that I'm aware of are pumping out these magic shots in the millions every day. So if you've done that and you've met the requirement of, hey, I've had both mine, or if you get the one that only requires one, either way, I'm inoculated. It's been more than 14 days, less than 3 months. Why can't I come in and do a 7-day queue? Thank you, Mr. Anon, for starting off the PayPal weekend. Appreciate that very, 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 very much. I'll get that up for you guys here in just a second. Here we go. And bam. From Anon, start off the weekend. I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. Let me cover up his real name. And you guys can see 25 in the hole already. Good, 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 good. Thank you, Anon. I appreciate that very, very much, brother. Very much. Very, very, very much. Every little bit goes a long way over here in Southeast Asia, I can assure you. And I really want to get out in April and bring you guys some awesome content. Awesome content. So we're always looking for super chats and PayPals, but that's entirely up to you guys. I'm not begging people for money. I'm just saying that's the channel fund, and that is how we keep the channel going with equipment and travel. That's what the channel fund is for: equipment, travel, nothing else. Okay, thank you again, Anon. Chain Noise says 40 people, back up to 41 now. Oh, he's talking about people watching. Got to get them all to hit the thumbs up now. Yeah, that's true. If you hadn't hit the thumbs up button, please do so. Jeff W says, hope Thailand doesn't end up like Philippines, which already stopped foreigner arrivals. Yep, I read that this morning. Actually, I saw it yesterday. Enrique, he had released the Life Beyond the Sea channel from the Philippines. If you have any questions about the Philippines, you should definitely watch that channel. He released a video stating that they had halted all foreigners coming in until, I believe, the end of April, I think, as of right now, because they had a little flare up in Manila. So there you go. Autumn says exactly, if and or, but however, and what my mom used to say to me, we'll see. 100%. I like that, man. Hello, Pan Pon. Good morning to you. Good morning. MedTech says, I have a lot of upper body strength and my shoulder muscles are sore from the thing. I have had no actual effect. Cool, man. That's good. That's good. Good, good, good. Ross says, I heard in another video, if you hit thumbs up button and subscribe, you have a better chance to win the lottery. That's a true story. That's a true story. It's not. That's not a true story, but I like that, Ross. Thank you, man. Yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hover over that little bell on the side and hit all for notifications. Just trying to keep the channel up and running and growing. We're doing good. We're picking up 100 subscribers here and there, and I wanted to put this in the middle of a video so that nobody I can hit 4 numbers next time instead of 3. I kind of wanted to put this in a well, let me answer Andy's question real quick. The point of the comment was you said the STV was unique being 90 days. It is unique being 90 days. Let me go back up your comment, Andy, because I don't want to offend anybody now. I'm not argumentative. Non-immigrant O has a 90-day option. But a non-immigrant O is not a STV. It's not called that. So, to the best of my knowledge, it's not. It's a tourist visa. That couldn't fall into a non-immigrant O category. That's my only point there. Charles says, I want to win so I can retire in Thailand. I hit the thumbs up. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that very much. Yeah. But hitting the thumbs up doesn't include perks and even becoming channel members. If you guys that watch the channel and are not a channel member, you should become a channel member. It's $2.99 a month, and there is a lot of extras there for less than a cup of coffee a month. I encourage everybody to become a channel member, and it's I think the channel members in this room would vouch that there's $3 a month worth of content in there, and we still haven't had our $3 our $3 a month. I mean our $3 a month, our live stream for members only this month, but we will. We definitely will. Hey, there's a $10 PayPal. Thank you very much, whoever this is. I'm not sure. Let's see. I really appreciate these PayPals, guys. This is how I travel. A plug, autumninasia.com. I hear you, bro. Does that mean you want me to show the name of your company? I'm not sure. But I won't do that, and everything's in there. Well, a plug, I assume he wants the plug mentioned, so I'll just I'll hide his name and put that in there. K&P Travel Shop, $10. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very, very much. Very, very, very much appreciated. Robert Mack says, Andy Oswald, hello, mate. Hope you and the missus are doing well. Yeah, so do I, Andy. Anon says, Charles White, I heard that JC was buying 1 lottery ticket for every person who does a PayPal. I wish. Matthew says, do you know if I bought the Thailand Elite Visa, would I simply need to do the 14-day queue or still complete all the red tape as everyone else? Still got to do the red tape. Ross may have some more information on that, but to the best of my knowledge, you still got to do the queue. You still got to do the red tape. Unfortunately, right now, as it stands, there's no special incentives for lessening the amount of time in queue for the Elite Visa. I do believe if you're coming here just to be a tourist and just want to hang out and just have fun and enjoy Thailand for the next 5 years or whatever, or 10 years, whatever, however much you want to spend on an Elite Visa, I think the Elite Visa card is, or the Elite Visa program is an excellent way to do that, Matthew. And that's after a lot of research. Lyle says sometimes almost $4 worth of content. Thanks, Lyle. Charles White, Lavender Anon. Ross says still no advertised way to buy your way into Thailand without ASQ. Yep, that's I agree with Ross on that. So Charles says the elite crew helps with the red tape. Okay. So they help. In other words, they help expedite the red tape thing. Gotcha. At Matthew. Oh, Anon. Can't say that word. So then I'll leave it up for a second. The insurance for the illness, the certificate of entry, and the additional insurance. No income validation, no 4,400 insurance, no background check, so not as much red tape. Gotcha. Okay, and I'm remove that. Thank you, bud. Appreciate that. Cool. What's up, Corey? Good to see you, man. DoMoreLife mofos. That's us. I'm glad you're here, brother. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you, Anon, for retracting that message after you had time to read. Appreciate that. You guys are doing a great job helping me make sure that these videos stay monetized. That's great. Anon has went on to, split it back. Q, certificate of entry, and the C, insurance. No income validation. That's a good thing. No 4,400 insurance. That's a real good thing. So that's the like entry level insurance you have to come to Thailand now. In addition to the C insurance he's talking about. So apparently you don't have to have the minimum basic there. No background check, so not as much red tape. A cleaned up version. Yeah. Thank you, Anon. I appreciate that, bro. That's really good information, and that's information that I was not aware of. So again, a lot of information that goes on in these live chats we have on this channel. I don't know specifically myself. I get told by you guys, then I do some investigating, and then I bring it back to people. Which brings me to something I wanted to say, and I wanted to do right in the middle of a video so that it's not a big, I'm not putting it out there, like making my own video about it, trying to toot my own horn or doing anything like that. But I want you guys to listen to me that have followed this channel or that do follow this channel for a second. Right now, we're at 28,900 plus subscribers. Okay. On May the 13th, 2011. For those of you that don't know, I've been sober since that day. That was the last time I used any drugs or alcohol. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I have videos on this channel about 7 years of freedom, 8 years of freedom, 9 years of freedom. And on May the 13th, 2021, that'll be a decade, 10 full years of sobriety for me. And my goal is to try to be at 30,000 subscribers by then. I cannot do that by myself. I can do that by continuing to push out content. But I need you guys' help in sharing content. And a little bit of word of mouth would be awesome on that. So it would mean literally the world to me if we had 30,000 subs by then, because if we have 30,000 subs, we're probably going to have about 100 channel members. And with the amount of channel members we have now, you guys are such high quality individuals, and I know you're enjoying the content and the channel member section. That's why I only offer one payment plan for the channel members. It would just really mean a lot to me to get to that 30,000 number by May the 13th. So we have the rest of March, all of April, and basically half of May in order to do that. It can be done. I've gained more than 1,000 subscribers in a month in earlier times. It may mean that I have to put out some more videos on Patia, because that tends to really draw people in and increase the subscriber count. But I'm going to continue to put out the coaching videos and continue to do these live streams. So this is just something that I wanted to throw in the middle of this live stream, in case because this is only for the people, you guys that are watching right now at 40 minutes in, are the people that actually want to watch the information here. So I just wanted to throw that out there and thank you guys in advance because I know you'll help as much as you can. And I said, let's see. Roger McGee's clapping. Thank you, Roger. Anon says, speaking of a cleaned up version, congrats. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. It's a good feeling to be free. Autumn said, yes, it is. Edwin, hello. Good to see you, sir. Very good to see you. And we can get back to Corey says, I got some Patia videos I can send you. I bet you do, Corey. I bet you do. I've got a few that I might be able to get away with putting on YouTube in the channel member section, but I'm not sure. Thank you, Griffin. I appreciate that, bro. It's just a little goal in the back of my mind that, you know, I thought that would be something good to strive for. But I'm looking forward to tourism. I'm looking forward to travel. I'm looking forward to see the country opening back up. And I'm looking forward to seeing how all this plays out here. I can tell you this, and we can talk about this if you want to, but we don't want to get political about it. I just want to say I am so incredibly grateful to be in Thailand right now. Like, I've watched people's Facebook that are not from Thailand or that are that have been to Thailand and are now back in like America or another Western country, for example. And, you know, other countries are going through certain problems, but America is basically just ripping itself apart right now. And that, I'm not blaming one side or the other or people, anything. I'm just saying the country as a whole, the fabric's tearing. And it makes me blessed. It makes me feel very blessed and grateful to be in Thailand. Even though we have the visa issues and we're, you know, non-citizens and that kind of thing, trust me, guys, that if you can get here, if you have the ability to get here, get here. It's a much more peaceful, it's just a better atmosphere all the way around. And you know, I think it's just I'm just so grateful to be here. I really am. I don't think there's a place in the United States, unless I was living in, you know, somewhere out in the desert by myself, that I would want to be. Griffin says, oh, I already read that. Corey says, next chance to go to Krabi, I would love to see more Krabi content. I would love to go to Krabi more, Corey. And I do have planned, you know, if worst comes to worst, I'm going to be, if the channel fund hits this number, okay, and it is currently, let me see where we're at on the channel fund. Okay, so basically between now and the end of this month, which means we have tomorrow's live stream, and then next weekend's live stream, we need about $300, roughly $320 for me to be able to go to Samui and Phuket. If we got more than that, then there's a good chance that while I'm in Phuket, I just slide down to Krabi and be able to go over there and create some more content. So that's where we are, guys. I'm completely transparent with you about this stuff. But yeah, I would love to go to Krabi and shoot more content for sure, especially right now because there's nobody in Krabi. I would love to go there. And I says, trust me, being in Washington, D.C. is like being in a green zone. I need to get back home. I hear you, bro. Eric says, you said it. Amen. America falling apart. Glenn says, hello, brother. Long time no see. I've been missing live streams. It's all good, Glenn. Glad to see you. Glad you could drop in. Edwin says, Jeremy, I'm heading up to Zamboanga when things open up. Interesting. Ross says, America's not falling apart. Its leaders are allowing it to be pulled apart. It's easier to point fingers and solve problems. Yeah, 100%. It's easier to start. 100% it's easier to point fingers and solve problems, but there are solutions that can be found. You know, We just don't have anybody looking for solutions right now. That's the only thing. I'm a big believer in not focusing on the problem rather than focusing on the solution. That's something that you learn in a decade of sobriety. Trust me, that's something you learn in the things that we go through there. Corey, you have just done something that probably, and Ross, you're right, by the way. I'm not dispelling what you're saying at all. Corey, you've done something that nobody has ever done on this channel before. And I don't know how to say thank you in the correct terms. I don't know how to say I appreciate it in the right way. I really just don't know what to tell you, brother. You just sent $100 via super chat. And I'm at a loss for words. I don't really know what to say, other than just thank you. Thank you, because I received that on April 22nd, and should I overshoot my vacation budget, stuff like this right here, the super chat will enable me to keep doing that, and will enable me to stay on my feet. And brother, I don't know you, but I love you for it. I really do. Because you've kicked out a heck of a lot of money over the last month on this channel, and people that support like you support, or just people that support the channel, period. But support like that is, it's just unrecognizable almost to me. So that was incredibly kind, incredibly gracious of you, Corey. And I don't know how to say thank you enough. I really don't know how to say thank you enough. So I genuinely, truly appreciate that. Thank you, brother. I know. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. It could not come at a better time. And I really appreciate that, bro. I really appreciate that. And I'm not going to try not to cry here. For the travel kitty, been a while. Keep doing you, brother. Derek, I remember you, man. And I would just like to say thank you for your, hang on 1 second. I don't want to give your last name away. For the $30 PayPal that you have just sent in. The difference in PayPal and Super Chat is PayPal, the money is available immediately. Super Chat, you wait until the 21st of the next month. That's the only difference. So thank you very much for the PayPal, Derek. I really appreciate that. Genuinely appreciate that. We're moving up the ladder quickly to the PayPal. What you guys are doing over in Super Chat is setting the channel up for success in April, and that's even better, because hopefully I can get some better equipment and we can hit that 1,000 subscribers, or we can get that other little over 1,000 subscribers. That's awesome. Let me go back up. We got another Super Chat here that I'm going to read in just 1 second. Let me catch the Johnny says solution be term limit. That's always a solution. I feel like Johnny, that's a good point. Edwin says Zamboanga is in Mindanao. Oh, okay, in Mindanao. So you're in the Philippines. Cool. Ross Ryan says, let's see if how many super chats it takes to make JC cry. It's not going to take many more. I can tell you that. Corey says, think nothing of it, brother. Man, I really appreciate that, Corey. Appreciate that. Anna is laughing at Ross. Chief Big Guns Retired says, sending for your travel fund, brother Jeremy. Do you think the Atlanta Asian. I'm gonna have to remove your content part after I answer, but please don't get offended by that. It's just YouTube will they'll cancel, but they may not let the video go up, and that would be very bad. Do I think what happened in Atlanta was motivated by the color of our skin, let's say? I do. I'm ready to get back to Southeast Asia. I hope you're well from Cobb County, Georgia. Thank you very much for the Cobb County, Georgia super chat there, brother. I appreciate the $20 very, 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 very much. I don't know if this will remove it or not, but it will at least, yeah, remove the message. No, I don't think it was sort of. Because the guy openly admitted that the reason he was doing what he did was because he had a problem, and he wanted to go back to. He was an addict, and he wanted to go back to. He was a sex addict, and he wanted to make sure that he did not go back against. He couldn't get he loved the Asians so much, Southeast Asians so much. He had a problem with them, and I can't really talk about that on YouTube. You are correct. You said you believe that, Chief Big Guns. You said you believe that, and to a certain degree, you may be right. Those are issues I typically stay away from because you never know what's actually going on in somebody's brain. You get a certain kind. In his case, you get a certain kind of woman, and you're like, wow. You know what I mean? Ross, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I want to see the waterworks. I'm trying my best not to bring on the waterworks, Ross. So, but I do thank you, bro, for the $7.77 there. That's nice. That'll amount to a $5 super chat, which I greatly appreciate, Ross. So, thank you, bro. And looking forward, hopefully, to traveling with you soon too. Big Guns, I really don't know how to answer your question. I want to answer it and make sure I answer it thoroughly because I always do, especially with super chats. I think that the guy was sick. That's what I think. I think he had a mental disorder that was unaddressed. And it manifested itself in a stereotypical way, not stereotypical, in a stereotype. He had a fascination with a certain culture of people and the way a certain culture of people looked. And as it manifested itself that way, then we got what we got. Unfortunately, and I hate it for the families and the people that were involved. I absolutely just, my heart goes out to them because it's one of the oddest, strangest things I've ever seen happen before. I just don't understand that at all. I've lived in Southeast Asia now for, I've been in Thailand 3 years, and I was in the Philippines 9 months before that. So almost 4 years in Southeast Asia, and I can tell you that Asian people in general are some of the kindest, most generous people, or most genuine people and generous people I've ever met in my entire life. And I don't see why somebody did something like that. And I can also say that's going to gaslight the flames that are already burning. And it's just a bad look, man. It's a bad look. So Corey says I had some extra cheddar. That's good one, bro. You had a lot of extra cheddar. Man, I appreciate that, bro. God, I appreciate that so much, Corey, so much. You'll really never understand how much I appreciate stuff like that, bro. You'll never understand, and I just thank you so much, man, so much. Edwin says every 2 or 3 years they. So if you lay low and move in daylight, you should be okay and find a local you can trust to move around safely. Oh, you're talking about Mindanao, yeah. Because the K word's in there, I'm going to remove that comment. But you're right on that point. I've heard that. I experienced it while I was there. I wasn't in Mindanao. I was in Cebu. But I used to hear about stuff like that going on down there. It was absolutely insane. At this point, I really don't care if you guys hit the thumbs up button or not. This has been one incredible live stream, but the thumbs up would be nice. So if you're enjoying the content here, I appreciate it. Chief Big Gun says, I understand. Thanks. All the best. Same to you, man. Same to you. And I appreciate your contribution by all means. Here we go. Here we go with big PayPal here. You guys are just amazing. I don't know how else to say it. Go to traveling, brother. That's what he says, and I don't think he minds me saying this is from Mr. Charles White. There's no other information on there, but he sent $50 via PayPal, which gets us even closer to what I need to go traveling. And I'm just absolutely, I'm taken aback today, really, by the generosity from you guys. I know you guys love it when I travel, and I know you guys, most of you also love it when you see some of the information that's provided, and it's my promise to you that I'm going to try to do better with content. I want to use some of this. I'm going to use some of these super chats in April to buy the new Rode mic, Rode Wireless Go 2 microphone system, so that my audio will be up there with the best of the best, and that should improve things a lot. So my heart is completely warm and full this morning, guys. It really is, and I can't thank you enough. I really can't. All of you that are commenting, all of you that are super chatting, PayPal, and all that stuff. My heart goes out to you, man. Edwin says I'm talking about Zamboanga mostly. I was referring to the Mindanao area. Mark from Cincinnati, Ohio. Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping by. Anon says they were Korean 6 out of 8. Gotcha, bro. Gotcha. When people say Asians in general, I just my default setting in my mind is to go to Southeast Asian, right? Because that's the Asian population that I'm more familiar with. So thank you for the correction there, and I appreciate that. Gregory, what's up, my brother? Good to see you, my man. Thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it very much. Edwin says the Zulu Island area is Dan. Ross says, I think he just had yellow fever. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about right now, but I'll take your word for it. Anna says Rossi also was brought up a very strong. Yeah. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Very strong fundamentalist family, major conflict going on there. Yeah. Yep. That can always be a problem, guys. That can always be a problem. Upbringing and has a lot to do with the way we develop as people. I mean, yeah, it has a lot to do with who we are as people. Ross says Zamboanga, that's in the Philippines. Yeah. Edmund says the Zulu Island area is the most dangerous for We can't say the K word, man. Can't say the K word. Can't say that one, Edward. Sorry. Anon says, Corey Smith, let me talk to you about a Thai bot 200,000 Thai bot queue facility. That sounds like an interesting prospect. Eric says, has anyone gotten third stimulus check other than direct deposit? Nope. Not at all. Ross says, JC, talking about your 10 years of sobriety, what do you attribute your success to staying sober in a country that has booze for every event? I attribute the vast majority of my sobriety to let's say, how long was I in America before I came? I leave when I was 37, 36. The 6 years, the 6.5 years that I was in America when my sobriety started, I started in a 14-day, I started in the hospital, almost virtually dead, and stayed in the hospital for a while. Then I went to a medical detox. Then I went to a long-term residential living facility where you have curfews and you have drug tests and you have you have your own rooms. You have to pay rent on those rooms. It's very small. It's like $85 no, it's like $55 a week or something. I don't know. But it was a community living center, a sober community living center in Charlotte, and I stayed there. In fact, you can look it up. It's called Hope Haven. Always give credit to that place for saving my life. And while I was there, I got a sponsor. I did the things they told me to do. I made a meeting every day for at least the first, I think, 2 years of my sobriety. And because I worked steps then with a sponsor, and I still practiced the things that I learned in America over here. And I found a meeting here and there to go to over here while I've been traveling. And I remain in contact with my sponsor at home. All these things combine to make living a sober life easy. The best part for me is I was more into drugs than I was alcohol. I only drank because it was the cool. I was either trying to be cool or I was trying to be in the setting of trying to achieve whatever drug I was on at the time. Trying to do that. Trying to the alcohol to help it take effect. So I've never been a guy that's been like, "Hey, give me a cold beer," I'm off work. That kind of thing. I hate beer. I hate all mixed drinks. The only mixed drinks I ever liked was a margarita and a White Russian. That's it. So the temptation, the desire to use goes away after a certain period of time. For me, it took about 9 full months before I stopped thinking about. I went 1 full day without thinking about using, and then the longer you stay clean sober, the easier it gets to stay clean sober, as long as you keep your mind right. And I attribute the long-term success to learning from others, experience, strength, and hope. Hope I answered that question thoroughly. We got another super chat here. Let me jump down to it real quick. Chief Big Guns at another 20 in the bank, man. You guys are so good. Good to me. He says, Jeremy, thanks for your feedback on that issue, brother. I have had both these and ready to travel when available. First stop, Philippines. I am retired military and 100% disabled, so I'm glad to contribute to our channel. There you go, man. Thank you, Chief Big Guns. I appreciate that again. I really do. And this is our channel. This is the family channel. And I don't mean family in terms of content. I mean family in terms of the DoMoreLife family. Which, by the way, we only need 5 more thumbs up to get 50 thumbs up. Just saying. And Ross, just to follow up on your question, if I find myself in a situation where I'm super tempted to do something, which I haven't found myself in for some reason, it's like I know how that, like my, I didn't just go to rehab once and then I got better, right? It took me the 3 times. The last time I went to rehab was the third time. So the first 2 times I didn't understand all the concepts. The third time, when the doctor looked at me and told me if I used again, there was a 99.9% chance I would die. It really rang home, and some other things happened in the hospital when I was actually in the hospital, and my heart was having some serious problems, and I was lung issues, liver issues, kidney issues, all that stuff. Really kind of, it was the first time because I used for a decade, and now I'm about to be clean for a decade, which is like the coolest thing ever for me. But to finish up on your question, because it's a good question. If I do feel that temptation, the one thing, and like say, I don't have the power to control anybody or anything around my environment. But what I do have the control to do is remove myself from that environment or place myself in a better environment. Either way, I can take myself away. So if I'm around a whole bunch of people that look like they're having a good time doing things that I know how that movie ends, right? Like I already know because I've been through it twice before the third time. I already know that movie. I know how it starts. I know how it ends, and that ending almost cost me my life. And because of that, because I know how it ends, I will never hit the play button on that movie again. That's about the best analogy I could possibly give you on that. So I hope that answers everything. Let's see. Anon says, Eric, wait a minute. Let me go back up. Make sure I got everybody. I got Big Gun there. Lyle says, Eric, not yet. Anon says, Eric, Virginia, I shredded the debit card when it came in the mail, so I wouldn't know. Oh, my goodness. Ross says, stimulus. Other name I have heard. I like even more mailbox money. Mark Hanna says, Samsung One Mobile is great, Mike. Samsung One Mobile is great, Mike. I will check that out. Thank you for the information, Mark. Robert retracted the message. Charles White says, love these chats. Looking forward to a coffee with you someday. Me too, Charles. I'd love to sit down with you, brother. Love to sit down with you. Lyle says, we're up at 44, 2 down. Good job. That's great, man. All the trolls are not showing a lot of love anymore. So we only have 2 thumbs down. That's good. We're at 46 thumbs up and at the current moment, and we'll get to 50. We'll get there. Mark says, is Thailand's government very stable? Ooh, I live here. That's one I can't really comment on. I would say it's sufficient. I'll say that, Mark. I feel comfortable living here under the government, and I'll leave it at that. But because I live here, I can't really comment on it. There are all kinds of laws about not commenting on the upper levels of government here. And if you want to know more about that, we can have a conversation offline at any time, or you can become a channel member just by hitting the join button below. It's $2.99 a month. And we can talk about that in a channel members only live stream. We can also talk about that in a video, or I can explain kind of the rules to you. So that's another option. Robert says, good morning or evening to all, wherever you may be. Good. Same to you, Robert. Ross says, that is how you got sober. What has kept you clean and sober since living in the USA? What's kept me clean and sober since living in the USA is constant contact with the people that help me stay clean and sober in the USA, and making a meeting here and there. I also have all my step work that I did from the USA with me. I got all my books, my information. I do some reading in those from time to time, believe it or not. And the ultimate answer to your question is, I don't hit play on that movie because I know how that movie ends. That's the answer to your question, really. If you sit down and you watch a movie and you know that the good guy is going to die at the end, why do you want to sit down and watch it over and over, right? So same thing about my life. I played that tape of my life and what it's like when I wasn't sober and clean. And there's no way I would ever go back. There's no way I would have this YouTube channel if I was on any kind of drug that changed my outside of the prescription medications I take. There's no other way. If I was drinking or if I was drugging or anything, I would. There's no way I could have this channel. There's no way I would stay employed. I'd be broke in 2 seconds, you know. And I'm sitting here proud to say I've never used the channel fund. I've never used any of that money to pay lights, rent, electricity, buy myself food. Never. I've never done that. So I'm not wealthy, but I certainly and I rely on the channel for traveling, things like that. But I think it's the frame of mind that I'm in right now. Yes, Eric, very good point. Thank you for your service, Big Guns. I appreciate that very, very much. A lot of times I tend to not recognize that as much as I need to, and I apologize for that. But definitely, thank you for your service, 100%. Anna says, retired FYI, Bumrungad will take your TRICARE for inpatient. Bangkok Hospital will take TRICARE for inpatient if you live in Thailand, but not for tourists, just FYI. Good information, Anna. Mark says, how did you get the ability to reside in Thailand for 3 years? I work here. I work and live here. I work as a school teacher. So as long as I'm here, I have a non-B visa and a work permit, and that allows me to stay in the kingdom. Ross says, would you say it helps living in a country where your distractions are much harder to find, as well as having stiffer penalties? Yeah, definitely that would be. I honestly, I don't think about those things though, Ross. But since you brought them up, yeah, I think that would be. To anyone who has been through what I've been through, that's probably 100% correct. Your distractions are harder to find if you don't live in them. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'm gonna be honest. For me, I could move to Pattaya, live in Pattaya, and never have an issue. I know I could because I've spent so much time in that city and never. There's guys on the channel that are no longer on the channel anymore that don't come on, but they could vouch. We went out. I offered to buy Jeremy a beer. I offered to buy Jeremy this. I offered to buy Jeremy that. Jeremy didn't take it. Didn't take the offer because Jeremy doesn't drink. So it is what it is. Ross says we have a very stable government. We have had the same leaders for some time now. Fair enough. Chief Big Gun says, Anon, that is great information on TRICARE. I had no idea. That's awesome. Thank you. That's what we do on here, man. We try to share that good information. Anon says it is generally bad form for an expat to talk about the host nation government, no matter where you live, not just Thailand. That's true, Anon. That's very, very true. Yeah, I agree 100%. I emailed multiple hospitals to find out and checked in person with Bangkok Hospital and Hua Hin. TRICARE doesn't give you that info, so helps to check. Awesome, dude. Don C, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. He says, hello, Jeremy. I'm enjoying my wine and making plans to return in April. Good. Let me know when you're here. Love to get together with you again. Mito Sala says, nice to see you, Jeremy. I learned a lot from your channel, buddy. Thank you. That's what we're here for. Here for learning, teaching, and tomorrow we're going to talk about Songkran, which is a huge festival and also a religious holiday here in Thailand. And we're going to talk about it and what the changes to Songkran are going to be for this year. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting. Ross says, I asked because the same strength you found to live the last 10 years can also be applied to other aspects and challenges in your life, using that internal superpower in other ways. You're 100% right, Ross. 100%. which is why you may see some significant changes coming up in the next 3 to 5 months. I told you guys when I moved here, I don't plan to be a teacher forever. I have ambitions and goals of actually doing things here in Thailand, and one of those goals is to photography, videography, creating content, creating information, helping people, blogging, doing all that stuff for a living. So there are some things on the route. I'd also love to be a business owner of some kind, or at least a manager of a business of some kind. That would really teach me about running and operating a business, because my 10-year plan is I want to retire at 50. But my the goal is to learn how to maintain and operate and properly function with my own business at some point in time. So when I say retire at 50, I don't mean I won't be working. I just mean I won't be carrying the load that I have to carry today, because I basically work 2 jobs. Well, not basically, I work 2 jobs as of right now. We're 2 thumbs up away, guys, from 50. Just a little heads up there. So if you hadn't hit the thumbs up button yet, please do so. And thanks for that comment, Ross. You're 100% right. And that internal superpower basically comes down to me not caring what other people think. Also, me not letting what other people say about me affect, not letting other people's judgments affect me. And really, it comes down to, Gary Vaynerchuk has a great saying. He says, "You're not lazy. You're not doing what you love to do." He's 100% right. I enjoy teaching. Right? I don't get me wrong. I enjoy teaching. It's fun. It's challenging, and I've learned a lot as a teacher here in Thailand. But what I absolutely love more than anything is what I'm doing right now. And when I'm able to do that full time, I won't feel like I'm being lazy. If there probably won't be as much resting and that kind of thing, and I won't feel as drained. Congratulations, guys. We're at 50 likes. So good point, Ross. Good point. Ed1 says, "That's right, Jeremy. I don't go to places where people are going to offer you drugs and drink all night." Yep. Some people can handle it. Some people can't. I know people in recovery that just avoid it at all costs. Avoid the whole. They're like, "Patty, no, can't go there. Can't do it." That's fine. That's their prerogative, and that's fine. They know if they've been in recovery long enough, worked enough steps, they understand. They're self-aware, which is back to Ross's point. Self-awareness is another thing that I'm really, really learning. I'm figuring it's taken me a decade to figure out who I really am and what I really want out of life. Because I skipped my 20s, obviously. But it comes back to self-awareness. So when you put yourself in that environment, and you don't have your mind, your shield of armor up here in the right place, bad things can happen. So some people choose to just not go there at all. Me personally, I think I chose to, and continue to choose to, be in those areas because it strengthens me. Every time I go to one of those places and come out, no drinking, no drugging, none of that stuff, no wishy-washy crap, and no sketchiness, then I'm stronger for going, because I'm like, man, I was in the middle of this, and I didn't succumb. It's a good thing. Teacher salary in Thailand varies greatly depending on. This is Mito's question. Depending on your education level and the school at which you teach, you can. Some teaching salaries start as low as 20,000 baht per month. Some of them start, if you get to a private school, you might get as much as maybe 45,000 baht a month. That's with a degree and a teaching certificate, like a TEFL or TESOL, something like that. Now, if you have a master's degree or if you have a bachelor's degree in education, you're probably going to make a little bit more, depending on where you work at. You're going to make more working at private schools than you are at public schools. It's just a variable question, Mito. I wish I could give you exact numbers, bro, but it's I can't give you my exact number because it's in my contract that I can't. But that's the best I can do. Don C says, I'll let you know where I'm staying. We're looking for a pool home there. I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. Mark says, where do you live? General area. I live in Western Bangkok, general area. Western Bangkok, out here on the, I wouldn't say it's really on the edge of Bangkok. It's on the, well, it's kind of on the edge of Bangkok, but it's pretty cool. Edwin says, Jeremy, you must have some kind of teaching degree. Now, I have a degree in health communication. That degree was designed from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. That degree was designed for people that wanted to be like, you know, the healthcare salesmen, the reps that go to the doctor's office and try to sell a medication by giving free samples and that kind of thing. That's what that degree was designed for. And basically, I just wanted a bachelor's degree in something to prove to myself that I could do it, because I started going to school after I only had 6 months clean. And it was super challenging because I was around normal people, right? And I hadn't been around normal people in over 10 years. So it was challenging, to say the least. Eventually, if you want to stay here in Thailand and teach, after 5 years, you have to get a postgraduate education certificate. You can get those at various schools, but that's for the Krungsban or something like that, teaching administration. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not planning on teaching for 5 years. So if I am teaching for 5 years, then I'll go through the process and get the necessary degree and certificates. Let's see. Don C says, you know, brother, my casa, su casa. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, my friend. If you don't know what that means, he's saying my house is your house. I appreciate that 100%, Don. And we've been there and done that before and had a successful outcome. So thank you. Thank you very, very much. Mark says, if Bangkok Hospital takes TRICARE, would they take Medicare for those over 65? I don't think so. Brothers comment, don't think they take Medicare. Wish they did. Yeah, I don't think they take Medicare either. That's one topic I have another little bit of knowledge on. I don't think they do. And I says, Mark Hannon, no, Medicare doesn't work overseas. Not the hospital's fault. Medicare won't pay. Cool. Don C says, Mark, sorry, no, Medicare is not accepted outside U.S. territories. Good point, guys. Ross says, it's sad Medicare does pay, or I think you mean does not pay. It would be much less to pay medical in Thailand than in the USA. That's true. That's very true, Ross. And I says, the reason why TRICARE works overseas is because the military and dependents exist all over the world while on active duty, so they carry it on into retirement. That is so cool, man. That's a great explanation. And Corey, do you have a degree to teach? I just answered that. I heard they wanted that. Also, you have to have a degree. You legally you have to have a sorry, turning on my air conditioner, guys. Legally, you have to have a bachelor's degree to teach here. A bachelor's degree in most places want you to have a teaching certificate of some kind. Usually a TEFL or TESOL or CELTA or something like that. But legally, you're supposed to have a bachelor's degree. There are places that will employ you without a bachelor's degree, but if you ever get caught, that place and you are probably going to be in some trouble. Also, in the next year or two, I'll be there and I'll buy you a non-alcoholic Sam Mig and take a margarita. That sounds like a plan, Corey. Sounds like a plan to me, man. Thank you again for everything you've done for the channel, bro, because I really genuinely appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Mark says, I heard you can buy international travelers health insurance. You can, Mark. You certainly can. international travelers health insurance through different companies like Cigna and some other companies are going to require that you have absolutely no kind of pre-existing conditions ever. Those kind of insurance policies are made for, like, the 24-year-old right out of college, super healthy, going to go to travel the world for a couple years, and they've never had anything wrong with them. That's kind of what that's for. Now, you can find other companies that are more lenient with that, but that's just a search that you have to do yourself. Roger says, but if you keep your Medicare coverage and get something bad like cancer, you can fly back to the States to get medical care. That's also very true, Roger. Good point, man. Ross says, Mark Hanna, if you live here like we do, it's not hard to find health insurance options, most at a far lower rate than international plans. That's true. For example, my insurance will be up in June, and I will be having to one ends in the last week of May and the other one the first week of June. I have two plans. An emergency plan that covers me up to $1 million baht, and then I have a doctors and hospitals plan that covers me up to $1 million baht. And it covers everything, zero deductible, all that stuff. So both of those plans together have been running about 36,000 baht. I expect them to run about 38 to 39,000 baht this year because I turned 40. So there you go. And that's through a company called AIA Insurance. I've never had a problem using it, and they've been great so far. Don C says, Pattaya is outside of Walking Street, is a big city with a great vibe, great restaurant, shopping. It is. It really is. And here's the thing about Walking Street. I don't know if you guys know or saw the Integrity Legal video on entertainment licenses yesterday, I believe they put out, but they're looking at not letting Walking Street have certain type of entertainment anymore. They're actually trying to convert it. So it looks like LK Metro, Bukau, and some roads off of those areas are going to be getting, Tree Towns are going to be getting very popular. And also, I believe that the places between Pattaya and Jam Tien, that area that exists there where there's kind of a null void, I believe that's going to be filled in as well. I have reason to believe that. But good point, Don. Anon says, Mark, yes, you can, but unless the international travel health insurance will sign an overseas insurance certificate, Thailand won't accept it for the OX visa. Very good, Anon. Very, very good information. I was not aware of that. Edwin says, Pacific Cross Insurance is a good one to have if you live overseas. What do you have for insurance? I have the AIA. Pacific Cross has a clause in their insurance that's very important. If you get treated for something 1 year, it will not cover that treatment the second year. So if you want to get the Pacific Cross again the next year, like say you had, let's say you got diabetes or something, and Pacific Cross will cover you for the remainder of your policy for that year. But when you pay for the next year's insurance, they're not going to cover anything that has to do with diabetes. Ross says, Don C, you were so right. Going there today just for some great Mexican food. Yeah. Mexican food is yeah, I like Mexican food. Roger McGee says, wishy-washy crap. Can you say that on this channel? Yeah, you can say that. Don says, Roger, 100% correct. We can fly back for cancer or issues that are not life-saving that day. That's true. Mark says, Medicare ABDG. That's Ross says that Edwin Vega, JC, and I both have AIA. Yes, we do. That's how I found AIA, was through Ross. Don C says that Ross, I met another vlogger for Mexican food. Are you this person? Good question. Not me. You would remember me. Yes, that's true. You would remember Ross. I agree with that. Mark says, I work in IT and can work from anywhere. So my goal is to try Thailand next winter, December through mid-March. That's a good choice, man. Do it. Ross says, I am in some of JC Coaching videos. Yes, he is. Ross is actually in quite a few of my videos. He's in the Coaching videos. I did some videos on his resort. He's also got a YouTube channel, by the way. And he's got videos on his wife's resort down there. We did a live stream from Rayong to Bangkok. Ross helped me move when I moved from Rayong to Bangkok. He's in that video. He makes guest appearances from time to time. Let's put it that way. Ross says that Mark Hanna get T-Mobile for phone calls from the States. You get free calls when calling over Wi-Fi or when using the T-Mobile Digits app. That's why I have T-Mobile as well. It's because Ross introduced me to that, and it is 100% true. And if you're going to be an international tourist, or if you're going to tour the world, or if you're going to just go places that are outside the U.S., T-Mobile is good. Very good. Very, very good. Let's see. Ramjet, what's up, buddy? Glad to see you last day in queue, baby. I hear you, man. I hear you. I know you're excited. That's a good question, Ross. I hope he answers that. Anna says, one other option for people too young is to take a grad degree, like an MBA, not all that expensive, and you can exist in Thailand for a few years studying. That's true. The only thing I would say about that is Thailand has really cracked down on their education degrees or on their education visas here. So, like, you really got to be into something that Thailand feels like is going to benefit them in the long run. And you got to do your work. You got to be in school. You can't move around the system anymore like it used to be. Very odd. Mark says, no pre-existing conditions. I have plenty of issues. I hear you, buddy. In other words, you're normal. Yep. Ramjet said, it wasn't too bad because I did step it up to a nice place with a balcony and good food. Would I do it again? No. That's everybody says that. Mark says, normal is something I have never been called. Same here, buddy. Corey says, don't mess with the walking street, and whatever you do, leave soy 6 alone or else. Well, Corey, I think, unfortunately, I think there's going to be some changes to soy 6 as well. I don't know for sure yet, and I don't want to mislead you with any information, but they're definitely going to mess with walking street, and I think soy 6 is going to change just because of the lack of foreign tourists, and they've expended all their, well, it appears as though they've expended all of their I don't want to say savings because I have no idea what kind of money they have saved up, but they're investors or whatever. It looks like they're drying up on money basically, and soy 6 is legendary, so I hope it doesn't for that reason. And I wish those guys all the best. So we'll see what happens, but don't worry, Corey. There will definitely be more places around. Eric says, JC, is there any need to have emergency evac insurance to transport you back to the U.S.? Are you confident healthcare there? I'm very confident of healthcare here. The healthcare here is, I mean, it's very, very comparable to the healthcare I received in the U.S. In many ways, it has been better than I've received in the U.S. However, I would say that there is, if I was a person that had the money, the evac insurance is something I would have, just simply because there could be an overwhelming factor or some type of situation that comes up here in the greater, it would have to be something bad, but if I could afford evac insurance, I would have it as a safety precaution, definitely as a safety precaution. But I have a lot of confidence in the healthcare system too. Chief Big Gun says, do you think nightlife scene above the Dolphin Roundabout will stay as visible as a viable scene for tourists? I don't see any reason why it wouldn't at this point. I haven't heard anything to the contrary, so I'm going to go with, yeah, I think it'll be okay, Chief. And I says, Mark, one thing about remote work, though, technically, I was going to get into that, and technically, you are supposed to have a non-B visa and a work permit. So if you come here as a nomad, keep your working very quiet. That's what they tell everybody, is just keep it under the table and don't announce it to people. But legally, if you do any kind of work in Thailand, you are required to have a work permit, and typically that work permit is accompanied by a non-B visa. You can also get work permits on other visas as well, but like me, I have a non-B and a work permit. You can acquire, in certain cases, if you work remotely, and you could probably set up your own business here. And get that non-B and get a work permit so that you would never have to worry about being hassled by immigration or the immigration police. One thing you don't want to do is get caught working here, because that could lead to massive fines, 20,000 baht plus, and it could mean jail time and then deportation along with blacklisting. So something you really, really, really need to look for. Mark says, I heard that I can sign up in for a duck language course for EDU visa. I've never heard of that. Ross says, Eric in Virginia, the healthcare in Thailand is top notch. I do not think it's worth the expense. If you were in Vietnam or Cambodia, it would be a different story. There's some legitimacy to that, but for me personally, if I could afford the evac, I would have it just to have it, just in case. But he's right about the healthcare here. It is top notch, and as I said before, for me, I've never had a problem with it, and they've always done a good job. Please explain non-B and working permit. Okay, so a non-B visa is a non-immigrant business visa. Usually that has to be sponsored by a employer. And for example, teaching, my employer gets the non-B visa for me. Then I get a work permit to work in the Kingdom of Thailand. The process of doing that is you can get a 90-day non-B visa in your home country, or you can come here on a tourist visa and then talk to immigration, find out what you need to do. You have to go out of the country to get the non-B. They may be able to do an in-country non-B swap now. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that because of the situation. I don't think so. For me, here's what I had to do. Came here on a tourist visa, started, or got a job. They gave me the paperwork to take to a consulate in Savannah, Laos. You can watch all this on the channel, by the way. Just type it in search. I went to Savannah, Laos for a day, well, actually 2 days, and went to the embassy, the Thai embassy in Laos, there in Savannah, and they slapped a 90-day non-B visa in my passport. So you come back, and during that 90 days, your employer has to have everything ready. They have to get you a work permit within that 90 days. They also have to have all your paperwork done. You have to have your background check done. The physical you have to have done. You have to have blood tests done. They're mostly just checking for syphilis and a few other things. And once all that's cleared, you have all your paperwork together. Then you go to immigration for your 1 year non-B extension of stay. So, or you could get, in some cases, you can get a 2-year extension of stay. But if you get a 2-year extension of stay, then you're going to want to get a 2-year work permit. So it's a cumbersome process. My suggestion to you is visit integrity-legal.com, and they will have a free phone consultation for you. And then if you want to use their services, they're reasonably priced. Many people on here have used their services, and everything is going very well. That's about the best simple explanation I can give to you. Anon says, Mark JC said they cracked down on informal education courses like language schools or Muay Thai schools. A real university is about the only option. True. Don C says, forget Walker Street. Pattaya is like New York City, great food, shopping, beach. It's a great place outside of Walker Street to enjoy life. I agree. Anon says, non-B equals business visa, work permit, where employer says that you have a job per Thai regulations. John Smith, when do you start back at school? I'm not sure what that means. I work at school Monday through Friday. Bouncy says, Chonburi, beautiful pool home, rented 25,000 baht near shopping, nightlife, restaurants. I love it there. That's awesome, dude. Chonburi's a good province to be in. Roger says, if you don't always have enough in savings that you can fly back anytime, the evac policy would probably be worth it. And I'm very inclined to agree with you there, Roger. Mark says, do they tax you with the work permit? Unless you have a tax exemption with certain countries, which you may have with America. By the way, you do have to pay taxes with a work permit here. I know at least as a teacher, I didn't have to pay any taxes for the first 2 years that I was a teacher. I know that. But after that, I think you have to pay taxes here. So you do run the risk of getting double taxed. And that's an American policy. To the best of my knowledge, we are the only country in the world that has that policy. I'm not sure of another one. So I really hope that answered your guys' questions for today. I have to say that the PayPal and the Super Chats were just absolutely amazing. I can't say thank you enough to you guys, and Chief and Corey, especially for your contributions. Then I've got everybody who contributed through PayPal. Derek, thank you. Want to say wait. Charles, Mr. Charles White, thank you. KMP Travel Shop, thank you as well. Who else did we get today? Let's see. Anon, thank you very much. Thank you. And you guys have added quite, let's see. Yeah, so altogether, after PayPal's 300 or 3% fee, we're going to have over $100 in PayPal today. That's great. That means we're about 200 away in PayPal, so that's awesome. Don C, thank you very much, sir, for the super chat. Much appreciated. Thank you. We've had a good day on super chat, real good day, and I very much appreciate your super chat, sir. And I know you've been around the channel for a long time, and I appreciate that. For any of you, well, let me just read this. Don C says, in U.S., it's $120,000 when you start to get taxed, so don't worry. That's a good point, Don. I didn't think about. Autumn says, thank you for all the info today. Autumn, thank you for being here, and thank you for your contributions. Mark says, I'm only looking for a 90-day stay. Oh, well, then, yeah. I think you probably be all right. Just I can't say what I want to say on here, but I think you'll be all right, Mark. And you're welcome for for all the information. Autumn says, and thank everyone in the chat because I learned something every chat. Absolutely. This chat is getting better and better at helping people learn stuff. And that's, I mean, it's amazing how much people learn in this chat. I'm so incredibly grateful for everything that transpired today, all the information, guns. Thank you again. Cheap big guns, as I say. And thank you again for your service. I think that goes unnoticed a lot, and I really appreciate it. I'm sure other people do. If you hadn't hit the thumbs up button yet on your way out, please do so. Consider becoming a channel member if you're interested in some behind the scenes stuff and some other content. If you're interested in getting content before I post it to YouTube, I tried one video of that this past week, and that seemed to work out pretty well for the channel members. So Mark says, I'm getting 3 team members to come with me. MedTech says, good night, MedTech. Thank you for being on, brother. Appreciate it. I will share this. Mark says, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Sharing the videos. What I always recommend is go find your favorite Do More Life video on this channel. Your favorite video on this channel, or even just a video you like. Share it across your social media. And that'll bring people to the channel. And like I said, my goal is to be at 30,000 subscribers on May 13th, 2021 this year. And we got plenty of time to do it. We can get it done. I know we can. And if we don't, I'm not worried about it because we're going to make a lot of progress on the way. So with that being said, tomorrow we're going to have a stream and we'll cover, first, we will cover Songkran and what the differences will be like this year versus last year. There was no Songkran last year. Senior Frank says, I didn't learn anything, but I haven't learned anything in years. I hear you, bud. Good night to everyone. Eric says, down to see, was that home on Airbnb? Interesting. Significance of May 13th. That's my sobriety date, MedTech. We talked about it. Go back to about 40 minutes in the video, and I did my little spiel on it. We're going to try to be at 30,000 subs by then. Charles says, good night. See y'all tomorrow. Definitely see you tomorrow, Bob. Bob, thank you for being around. I appreciate you being a channel member, Eric, and all you guys that are channel members, Roger and everybody. Really, really appreciate you guys. And I think that's all the announcements I have for the channel today. Definitely shared a lot of information. Thank you guys in the chat for your just warm-hearted, unbelievable contributions that I can't thank you enough for. Also, thank you for sharing information with each other that has helped to really just add value to these live streams. That's why I love doing them. I learn stuff just like you guys learn. It's great. MedTech says, I was in a restaurant. Sorry, no problem, man. No problem at all. No problem at all. With that being said, you guys take care today. I'll see you at the same time, same place tomorrow. Whatever you do today, be sure you do more life. Love you guys. Mean it.